Will the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni lawsuit go to trial, or will the judge throw it out? Inside the It Ends With Us legal showdown. That's the suspense hanging over the much-talked-about It Ends With Us legal dispute involving Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. It's part Hollywood drama, part legal chess match, and part lesson in how lawsuits really work behind the scenes. If you've ever wondered how celebrity cases survive or don't in court, most lawsuits never make it to trial. Shocking, right? Despite what TV dramas tell us, judges throw out cases all the time. So, where does this one fall? Let's break it down, without the legal jargon headache. Every big legal story has an origin moment. This one starts not in a courtroom, but in the creative whirlwind surrounding It Ends With Us, a project loaded with expectations, passionate fans, and high-profile talent. On the surface, it might look like just another Hollywood disagreement. But peel back a layer and you'll find a tangle of contracts, interpretations, and alleged missteps, the kind of stuff that keeps entertainment lawyers busy. What makes this case fascinating isn't just who is involved, but how quickly it escalated. Lawsuits don't appear out of thin air. They build quiet emails, tense meetings, let's loop in legal, and then boom, court filings. At its core, this lawsuit centers on whether certain legal claims actually meet the standards required to move forward. That's it. No dramatic jury speeches yet. No courtroom theatrics. Just a judge asking, do these claims make legal sense? Are they supported by enough factual detail? And even if everything alleged is true, does the law allow a lawsuit here? A lawsuit can feel emotionally valid and still be legally insufficient. Courts don't rule on vibes. They rule on statutes, precedents, and procedures. So when people ask, is this lawsuit strong? What they're really asking is, can it survive the early legal filters designed to weed out weak cases? And that brings us to the filings. If lawsuits were movies, filings would be the trailer, revealing just enough to spark debate, but not the full story. In this case, both sides have submitted multiple filings, each serving a purpose. One side argues the claims deserve a full hearing. The other pushes back, often asking the judge to dismiss the case outright. This stage is less about winning and more about surviving. Judges reviewing these filings aren't deciding who's right. They're deciding, is this worth the court's time? And here's where things get interesting. The more filings you see early on, the more it suggests a strategic tug-of-war. Each motion, response, and reply is a chance to frame the narrative. Here are the most common reasons a lawsuit gets dismissed early and why people are watching for them in this case. Failure to state a claim. This is the legal equivalent of saying, even if I believe everything you're saying, it's still not illegal. Lack of evidence at this stage. Courts don't need proof yet, but they do need specific, plausible facts, not vague accusations. Contractual barriers. Entertainment contracts are notoriously detailed. If a contract allows or limits certain actions, that alone can sink a claim. Jurisdiction or procedural issues. Sometimes cases fail not because of what happened, but where or how the lawsuit was filed. The big suspense here? Which, if any, of these applies strongly enough to end the case now? Does being Blake Lively or Justin Baldoni change the legal outcome? Short answer, no. Longer answer, it changes everything around the case, but not the law itself. Judges are trained to ignore fame, but public attention can influence. Settlement pressure. Media narratives. How aggressively each side fights. Ironically, high-profile cases often avoid trial because trials mean more headlines, more leaks, less control. Every lawsuit has 3 realistic paths. Let's break them down without the legal fog. Option 1. The judge throws it out. This happens if the claims don't pass legal muster. Quick, decisive, and often shocking to the public. Option 2. The case goes to trial. Rare, expensive, and risky. Trials mean depositions, testimony, and unpredictable juries. Option 3. A quiet settlement. No verdict. No admission of wrongdoing. Just a mutual decision to stop the fight. Here's the twist. Most high-profile cases end with option 3. So why is everyone obsessed with options 1 and 2? Because they're dramatic. And drama sells. It's too early to say with certainty, but based on how these cases typically unfold, the odds lean toward early dismissal or a settlement before trial. Trials are the last resort, not the goal. And yet, every filing keeps the door cracked open just enough to make people wonder. Do you think this lawsuit should go to trial, or does it feel like one that ends quietly behind closed doors? Have you ever been surprised by how the law handled a situation you thought was obvious? Drop your thoughts, share this with someone following the case, and keep the conversation going. Because in Hollywood and in court, the next move is always the most interesting one.